The Phillies finally stopped that slide last night with beating the Orioles at the last at bat due to Alec Bohm, and we'll get into that in a second. I want to welcome you into the very first, the inaugural Phillies Weekly Recap. Now, most of you know me for fantasy football, and as much as football is my passion, I love my Phillies. I mean, I am always in the gear. I am always talking about it, and I wanted to make a show that was about the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to pretend to be the stat analytical guy here. We're going to talk about it like fans. It's going to be you and I at a bar talking because we love our Philadelphia Phillies, especially right now with the way this team is showing us that last year we made the World Series. At points of the season, there was nobody who could beat us. All I know is that we need to push the envelope now. We're coming off the skid. We just got a win last night in the last at bat. It seemed like it lined up once Bryce Harper hit that home run. And now let's talk about it a little bit. First, let's talk about the daycare here because Alec Bohm, Bryson Stott, they're pulling it out. And yes, the fans are important to us winning. The fans help. When Philadelphia has the crowd going, there is no better city to have your back than these crazy fans here in South Philadelphia. And here's the thing. They were pumping last night when it came to Bryce Harper. They were out there. Once he hit that home run, it seemed like there was some energy back in the stadium. And then with Bryson Stott hitting it in the corner and Bryce Harper just chugging along around those bases. I know that man was winded afterwards. But, man, what a win that we had. We were very lucky there. But I want to talk about my favorite player on this team outside of Bryce Harper. And honestly, it's Bryson Stott. It's been a long time coming. There's not many times I can go through the Phillies organization and say, hey, this is somebody like we've grown, we've built him, we brought him up from the minors. He's been our guy forever. But Bryson Stott, whew, that man, you know what? He's looking like the next Chase Utley. Do I think he's there yet? Not really. He's still got a lot to go and he doesn't have that same power. But this man just hits and he drags out at bats. And that's the beautiful thing, especially with a team with free swinging people like Harper, and you have Trey Turner, who we'll get to in a second, Kyle Schwarber, who's hit or miss, and should he be at the top of the lineup? There's all these questions. Nick Castellanos, just going off the board sometimes and coming back to 2022 version of him. Look, here's the thing. Bryson Stott is homegrown. Bryson Stott hits around 300. He's always going to be fighting for that batting title if he keeps playing like this. But the man he works the at-bat. And working the at-bat works the pitcher. And by working the pitcher, he tires them out more. And I love watching that. I'm a fan of old school baseball. I love the home run. Don't get me wrong. And we're kind of built around it a little bit, but not as much as people think. But here's the thing. As nice as a home run is, give me the first to third off a single. Give me the stolen base. Give me the sacrifice bunt. Give me the great defense. Give me all the stuff that I learned to do in Little League because, I got a heart for it. It's what I grew up with. And Bryson Stott gives me all of that. He knows the game. Like you saw him the other day telling the umps, no. This is the rule. This is how it goes down. He knew it better than them. He always gets the hits. He's always got the at-bats that last forever with 4 or 5 foul balls, just working that pitcher. And let's be honest, he's got a great walk-up song. We love to sing it in the stadium. Sunday package here. Hopefully next year, all the games. But every time he comes up, it is just so much fun to sing that song and watch him perform. Even if he gets out, it's still always a pretty decent at-bat 95% of the time. And the Phillies need a player like that, especially when one of our richest players on the team, Trey Turner is not playing well. And I was having this conversation on Twitter with somebody, seemed like a nice guy, but he was saying that it was just a stretch. A stretch is 10 games. A stretch is, I'm a little out of my head. I'm a little out of sorts. This man has been messing up all season. Now, it's been worse the last 10 games. He's been ejected. He's had errors, multiple ones in some games. He's not even running. There was a play up the middle. The Bryson Stott got the ball, and only Bryson Stott could reach that ball. And Trey Turner's out there trying to make the play, too, instead of going the second. Fundamentals that you learn in Little League. He just seems out of it. Now, tonight, the lineups have come out. Trey Turner is out of the game, which is great because tomorrow we're off. Give him 2 days to reset his head. This guy has a ton of talent. I'm just petting my dog down here. This guy has a ton of talent. He is a great player. We've all seen it. Like, we're not going to pretend that he's going to just automatically bust all of a sudden, but players have issues coming into this team for whatever reason. And you could see it on Trey Turner's face in the way he's playing, the ejection, everything else. The man is pressing because he is hearing these Philadelphia boos. And it's a different style of boo from Philadelphia. Here's the thing. When you're an opponent, you get booed. You get booed everywhere. That doesn't faze you. When you're getting booed from your own home crowd and you're making that type of money and you got signed and everything you're seeing on Twitter and in newspapers and, anything that you read an article on, it's like, here it goes. We finally got another guy on top of Harper. We're going to make that run again. Another World Series is coming and you can't deliver, especially in this town, this loudmouth town of Philadelphia. As much as I love us, we can destroy you psychologically, unfortunately. And right now, I just think it's getting to him. I think he needs that day off. So I love that he's getting the day off. And I love that he's got the day off tomorrow and 2 days to rest, come back Friday, and hopefully rejuvenate himself. I don't need a ton of homers. Yes, I would love 20 home runs. But right now, just get the ball on the bat. Figure it out before we reach the playoffs. Help us get into the playoffs because like we saw last year, it's anybody's ball game once that happens. Now, here's my issue with tonight's lineup is Johan Rojas is not in the lineup. And we're playing Jake Cave again. Don't get me wrong. Jake Cave seems like a nice little bench guy to come in here or there. But I am seeing way too much of Jake Cave in my life lately, and I am not a fan of that. I am not happy with that whatsoever. Here's the issue. Jake Cave, we know what he has. We know what he could be. And it's just an average ball player. It's nothing bad. He's a bench guy. He comes in here or there. Okay, cool. Put in Johan Rojas. We just saw in the outfield how spectacular having Martian left and Rojas in center looked last night. We've seen the lineup with Schwarber at DH and Harper first, who should be at first every single game, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Rojas and Marsh had such a defensive prowess to that outfield. It's unreal. You should not be walking away from that. Let this guy play, especially again. The trade deadline is in a few days. Let us see what we need. Jake Cave isn't going to let you see what you need. Rojas will. And here's the thing. Another argument with somebody here who is a lot cockier than my first debate on Twitter, trying to tell me that Johan Rojas can't hit. This man keeps getting on base. And if this man gets on base, he could steal. He's got speed. We see it in the field. We've seen it on the bases. He's getting those hits. I'm not expecting power out of him. I'm expecting that small ball type hitter. And he's getting those singles. He's slapping it into the outfield, and then he's getting on first and stealing second and putting us in a situation. And that's beautiful. Would it be great to have him maybe, turn the lineup over? That's where I would like him most. 7, 8, maybe 9, turning the lineup over. Right now, we could use a him or a Stott at the second spot, but it's going to be Trey Turner when he comes back in. However, having him turn the lineup over is big because even though our 1 through 5 hitters are kind of struggling at the moment, that's the bread and butter of Philadelphia. That's where we get our hits. That's where we do our thing. We're going to get our hits eventually. They're going to come. Everybody is cold right now, it seems like, except for Stott and Bohm. And imagine once this team gets on fire and we don't have to rely on Stott and Bohm. But I would love to see Johan Rojas. He's earned it. He's earned it in the field. Very first play off the wall. He's earned it at the bases, with steals. He's earned it at bat with hits. I don't see why you take this guy out. His young, vibrant energy, too, that can help spark a team because baseball is a very long season. And you can't just sit here and say, oh, yeah, we'll just put Jake Cave in. Right now we're in a skid, and we need something to stop that skid. And something that can stop that skid is this young, energetic, speedy outfielder making defensive plays and doing everything we need, keeping Kyle Schwarber at DH and Harper at first and Martian left. And it's the strongest lineup, and they played it yesterday, and I don't know why we're running away from it right away. Why, Topper? Why? Why are we running away right away? Please, somebody let me know why we're running away in one of these comments because I can't feasibly think of one reason why. Now, here's a couple things that concern me. Yes, we'll get the Craig Kimball blowing a save. It was going to happen. very rare is the Brad Legier of perfection. So I'm not real worried about that. We're getting some of our relievers back. Sir Anthony just came back off. He's in the, and we're getting Alvarado back. He'll be back in. We'll be able to give Strom a little bit more of a break, who we should not have relied on for as long, but I guess they were trying to stretch him a little bit. My biggest issue is our base running this year. There's been multiple times where they have me saying WTF to everything they're doing, like rounding third and going home, when maybe you shouldn't have pulled that. Maybe you should have waited. Maybe you should have trusted your bats. I understand being aggressive, and I love aggressive. I love it in every sport, but we're not hitting real well right now, and I'm not going to always squeeze the run because of that. It happened a couple games ago with, I want to say it was Trey Turner rounding third or Bryce Harper and then getting caught at home, and I just didn't like it. Like, we were hitting decently enough that night that you could have kept him on third and kept the pressure on the pitcher, but instead you got him out of it, and you have to be selective about it. So I'm hoping that by postseason time, our third base coach could, get his head in the game. Maybe he needs to sit 2 days like Trey Turner. But here's the thing. I want to talk about it. Bryce Harper. First base. Like I said, this has to be talked about. He has to play there every day right now. Every day until the trade deadline, because we need to see what we have. And, man, did that guy come out firing. I was nervous. I didn't turn the game on yet, and he was already making amazing plays the first time out there. Then we all know about the web gem he made, and, we held our breath for a second, but he was fine. He's doing things at first base that you just wouldn't imagine. It's just because, and I get it, I'm a Phillies fan, but this Bryce Harper, even if he wasn't on our team, would be a baseball god in my opinion. He just is great at everything. Catcher, right field, first base, hitting, being aggressive on the base path. He does it all for you. He's just one of them guys that you've seen in high school, college, that in your life at work, and you're like, damn, this MFer, he's just good at everything. He does it all. No matter what gets put on his plate, he figures it out. And I love that about him. I love that he is the heart and the soul of the team, and he's trying to will us to some wins. And that power will come back. And once that power comes back and he gets hot, watch out, NL. Watch out, NL, because we're going to move. We're going to get going, because once Bryce goes, they all go. And Bryce is figuring it out, much to the dismay of that Baltimore Orioles announcer, who said he doesn't have the pop, but he still has the aggressive swing. And then what's he do? He bangs out that home run. Look, the Phillies got a lot to figure out still, because it's been a bad stretch. And maybe you move Trey Turner out of the 2 spot after this 2-day break. Maybe you move him down the lineup a little bit. Maybe you switch him and Stott around. You let Stott go to the top. And I understand this whole Schwarber, our record's 24-14 since he went back to lead off, but it's been very good. But is it just a coincidence? I get it. He leads off with a homer. He starts an inning with a homer. Obviously, we're all not stupid. You get a quick run. That's beautiful. But is it the way to go? I don't know. I mean, he might need to be moved around too. We got to shake some things up. And I would just love to see something like Stott, Bohm, Harper to start it off. And all of a sudden, we got a first and second, because Alec Bohm's not the biggest power guy in the world, but he is leading our team in RBIs right now, so he's getting hits. Imagine those 2 on base for Bryce Harper 2 times a game. I would love that. The issue then is that you got to put Nick and you got to put JT, who's struggling. You got to put Kyle together. So I get it. There's a lot to talk about, and Trey, but I would like to switch around the 2. If you're going to keep Schwarber at 1, that's fine. I'm not Rob. I'm not going to be able to change that, obviously. But here's the thing. I would love Bryson Stott to move up to the 2. Get somebody on base for those times, because we know Kyle Schwarber is a swing and miss or a home run guy. That's pretty much what he is. So let's get Stott on base. Let's put Harper up. Then let's put in a Trey Turner or a Nicky or Alec Bohm or somebody to drive Harper home. But let's get some runs generated here. Now, the Phillies are playing the Orioles tonight. Like I said, they're going to break after this. Let me know what you think of the show. It's always going to be quick hitting. It's always going to be 10, 15 minutes. But let me know what you think. Leave some comments. Like it. Share it. I want to talk with my Phillies fans, and I want to bring some of you on. So let's become a community here. Let's talk. This is just a fan show. You and me at a bar, baby. Let's have some fun with it. Let's ring that bell and go Phillies.